right, so we are back. First episode of 2025.
Yeah, it's been a whole year since we last recorded.
Yeah, I guess kind of a year.
Well, yeah,
I mean, it hasn't been a whole year, but it was last year.
yeah.
It was last year.
I
I
messed, I
don't even
messed that one
remember
up.
episode six. Episode six, the science one. There's actually a lost episode in
Yeah,
there
lost
somewhere.
files.
Yeah, it was only 20, I think 27 minutes of episode six. But it was actually an hour and some.
Yeah,
So somewhere out there in the universe, because the recording got corrupted and it's lost.
yeah,
But we were able to salvage that piece. So Julian,
yes.
Christmas, New Year's.
It was fun.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's you don't really have the Christmas joy, at least for me. Like when I was a kid, I was all about it. Like Santa. But as soon as that you know crippling reality set in that
Oh,
Santa
hold on, but
didn't
I gotta
exist.
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Did you actually believe in Santa when you were a kid?
When I was really, really young. When
Like
I
how
was
young
really,
are we
really young,
talking?
nah, like probably like 4 or 5. Like I was like Santa, Santa, But then I came to the conclusion like there's no way that there's an obese. Like first off, I don't even have a chimney, so I don't
Yeah.
know
So
how this
how is this guy
guy's.
sneaking
Yeah,
in
how's
the
this guy
house?
getting in? And I mean he's pretty big, so you'd think that he'd make like some sort of noise. Or something. I never heard anything.
Yeah.
I stood up and he didn't. He never showed up. So, oh no, I remember exactly what it is. I was like 5 or 6,
Uh
and
huh.
I was already having the suspicions like Santa doesn't exist. But I'm a logical kind of guy, so I had to
I think you should move the microphone closer
I'm a logical
because.
person. I waited and I saw my grandma putting the gifts underneath the tree.
Okay.
And
Okay.
from then on, I was just like, one, I'm never believing what an adult
But
says.
wait a minute. Is this the Colombian grandma?
No, this is my white grandma.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna
Well,
say
white because she's like apparently she's like 50% Native
Native
American
American.
or something like
Okay.
that. But
But
it's
she grew up as like white, like American
yeah, I
American
mean like
culture.
Floridian, maybe Georgian. Just like
Okay,
they
okay,
were
yeah,
they were more up north.
yeah. Because I mean, white could be. I'm talking about like culturally American.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean just southern.
yeah.
Just the
Because
classic southern like person from the 70s, alcoholic.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
nice when they get older.
No, oh man, that's every grandparent.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Grandparents
I
are
hear the
always
lore,
nice. Yeah.
I hear the lore, dude, and then I just like compare that to my memory of her.
Oh
She was
yeah,
the
yeah.
sweetest, like most just kind person that you could ever meet. Very, very intelligent, very just pleasant demeanor.
My mom and my uncle, they were in town talking about their mother, my grandmother,
Hmm.
and they all, like all the kids, have a scar on their head where she struck all of them.
Yeah.
Like not just like blood dripping
Yeah,
down
yeah,
their
yeah.
head. And she was so nice to us, but they remember her as a tyrant. So yeah,
I think
that's
grandparents,
all
yeah.
grandparents. Yeah.
Because they have time to like reflect. I
Uh
feel like
huh.
that's part of it. And then also as you get older, you just give less of a shit. So you're just like there's not as much like in you.
Yeah.
When you're young, there's a lot of but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
kind of like fizzles out once you get into like the 70s and 80s.
I guess yeah, it's an age thing. See,
You might lose that fight too if you try to like beat up your grandchildren or something like that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
get
it might not go your way.
yeah.
So yeah, you want to make sure you keep your W's intact.
Yeah. You want
Your
to keep the
win loss
record
record.
intact.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like Mike Tyson losing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Jake
yeah.
Paul. Like
Yeah, you want to keep that record padded. You're gonna fight somebody, make sure they're older than you.
yeah, yeah. Some of those old people fights are pretty good though, because it's like it's a fair fight, and that's what makes a fight good, in my opinion. Where they're like
Yeah, you ever
even.
seen you ever seen two old men fight?
Yeah, yeah. This is the
They just
scariest
kind
thing
of
ever.
grab
Because
each other and they shake,
yeah,
and
yeah.
some they might fall
One
down.
guy might fall,
Yeah,
and the one that falls, like he gets like the other guy tries to hit him, and then he falls. I mean, it's entertaining.
it's entertaining, but it's scary
Yeah, it is
because
scary
somebody
because
might lose their life.
someone falls wrong, and
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. Like as you get when you get in that age, it doesn't take much. It does
yeah.
not take much.
I think we talked about this
Yeah, the
last
shower.
time. The
Yeah, the
shower
shower. It
incident.
doesn't take much, man.
Yeah. So Christmas, yeah. Just real quick thing. I despise the whole Santa Claus thing. I never
Yeah,
believed in it.
you
I
never
never
believed it,
never
even when
believed.
you were like 4 or 5.
The thing is, I grew up in Guyana when I was 4 and 5. We used to have a guy on a fire truck come by pretend he was Santa, but we didn't really push it that much. But I don't think I would have believed in it then either.
You had less of like the propaganda though. Like me growing up, dude,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Florida, everyone like it's a much better kept secret, at least for like really small kids, because your
Yeah.
parents do want you to have that like Christmas joy, you know. So you're like, yeah, Santa's real, but there comes a point in
They
time.
did it in school too, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah. In
teachers would push
school,
it.
they push it. They're like, you got to be good, because if you're not, Santa's like,
Yeah.
he's not gonna fuck with you.
'Cause I
And
remember when I came here and I came here and I started in kindergarten because I was 6 when I came here,
yeah,
and yeah, when they were talking about Santa, I thought I was in crazy land. I'm like, "These people
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really don't believe in this stuff." I thought they're like, "What is this joke?"
It's because you weren't raised with the
Yeah, we weren't raised
propaganda.
from a little kid to believe in it.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
molded into believing in Santa.
Yeah, yeah, that's how
But
it is. That's why I was asking about the grandma, the American culture, they kinda, you
yeah,
know, it's a cult. It's
I
the
had a
Santa
pretty
cult.
I had a pretty American upbringing, I'd say, because my family is South American, right?
Uh-huh.
Like Colombian. My
Yeah.
grandfather is Ecuadorian. But when I was younger, I would still see like my grandparents, like my American grandparents. They're both deceased now,
Yeah.
but rest in peace, grandpa and grandma, American ones. But we would always do like July 4th, right?
Yeah,
4th
yeah,
of
4th of
July,
July, yeah.
Christmas. We would do all that stuff, like Groundhog Day, like just
They
pretty much
celebrated
any holiday.
celebrated Groundhog's Day? What
It's
do people
something
do
like
on
that.
that?
Like, well, I think that's more like school,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I thankfully I got to experience all
The
those
American
holidays.
culture part,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And I like it.
yeah,
I'm,
I like it personally. It's
I
not
I always tell people I'm as American as apple pie, and
apple
they're
pie
like,
as an American though.
"Exactly, I
Mm.
wasn't born here."
Yeah.
But when you think America, you think apple pie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, that's me,
You've
I'm
been
American
taken
as apple
into the
pie.
culture.
Eh,
You are American, even though you're not
yeah, so
from
when you
here.
you think of me, you think of American, but I wasn't born here, just like when you think America, you think apple pie. See,
Yeah,
that's the joke.
that does make yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. We got the full like dissection of that
Yeah,
little
yeah,
joke right there.
exactly.
But hey, Christmas, it wasn't bad this year. I ate food with my family, and
Uh-huh.
my mom's finally learning how to cook.
Really?
It took a long time. It took a very long time.
Said you said your mom has finally got good at cooking, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I already told you guys about the shrimp, right? I don't know if that got saved.
The shrimp?
Was
I
that
was
that got
that there
saved?
in episode 6? Okay, yeah.
Okay, so just a quick rehash for the new viewers. My mom almost killed me with shrimp because she just didn't clean it when I was like, I don't even remember what age I was, probably around 10, probably like a 3 year um, range of error. I'm not sure if that's the saying, but yeah, she almost killed me with the shrimp. But now that I am 20, almost 21, and moving out, she's decided to learn how to like cook. She has like a slow
There we
cooker.
go, yeah.
So Christmas wasn't bad. There was a lot of
So
food.
now you think it's personal.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I took it a little personally. Like
Yeah.
now that I'm like moving out, you're like, all right, now I'm gonna learn how to cook.
Yeah, yeah.
These past 20 years, she's like, make do. Now that I'm leaving, she's like, all right, you know what,
Yeah, it's
gourmet.
time to step it up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like you're leaving a party and all of a sudden the music starts bumping.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Or they start bringing out like
you
a
guys
different
have been
course.
rocking friggin' oldies and country this whole time," and then
You'd be hard pressed to not take that a little personally.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, guys, see you later. And then the
They're
DJ
like, all
comes
right,
out.
see you later.
Yeah. Alright, so then, Christmas was pretty good for me also, but,
That's good.
what about New Year's? What are you doing on New Year's?
Uh, honestly, so I don't drink anymore, really. But for New Year's,
Oh, you're
like,
prepping for the camp, so
yeah, I've been like,
staying clean.
yeah, complete like a in the past, like probably like month, I've smoked one cigarette with my friend. I'm not a smoker at all, but my friend like he smokes cigarettes sometimes, and so last
You
it's
don't
like
want me to do it alone, you
yeah,
gotta, yeah.
exactly. So I was just like, all right, bro, like
Yeah.
but I look like a weirdo doing it. I was
You
like,
doing like
yeah, yeah.
the
um,
Now I gotta say something. Look, I never smoked in my life, but nothing looks cooler than a dude that's like doing mechanic work with that cigarette just hanging out of his mouth. And the thing is, when he wants to hit a draw, he doesn't even touch it with his fingers. He's just sitting there ring it and just
yeah, yeah.
keeps on working.
I actually did something similar. So this is a while back, but I used to like partake in the devil's
Oh, hold
lettuce.
up, just we're not
We're
endorsing
not
cigarettes
endorsing
or
these.
smoking. I'm just
None of this.
my personal opinion.
Personal
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah, okay.
I have a video of me like boxing, like shadow boxing out, and I have like a J, and I'm like hitting the J while
Uh
I'm like shadow boxing and stuff, like no hands.
huh. Yeah.
So it's like that. But yeah, yeah, I'm not really drinking or anything like that. But for New Year's, my family they got like some alcohol. They were drinking, and I don't want to just be like I'm not a square, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well, here's the thing too. There's a thing for me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff. I eat relatively clean
yeah,
most of the time, but you don't wanna be that person that
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we
We
talked
talk. Yeah, we
yeah,
talk.
we talked about that. You don't
Oh,
really be a drag, you know?
yeah.
Like somebody brings out like, pie or something, disgusting. "Oh, it's got too much sugar." I'm like,
They act like
you
it's
know
their last stand, bro. Like,
yeah.
no, dude, no,
Yeah.
dude. It's like
Enjoy yourself sometimes.
exactly.
It's New Year's.
Life,
Once
life is not. I need to be 100% perfect every
yeah,
single moment. I can never. I
exactly.
can never like. It's just have fun, be responsible. We're not like you're not expected to be like a paragon of just sobriety or perfect eating or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just be a little responsible, take
I'm
care of
pretty sure
yourself.
even David Goggins is it.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
probably has a beer every now and then, a slice
yeah.
of
Of
cake,
course, of
yeah, on
course.
his birthday or something. Yeah,
The guy needs like at least one moment where he's not fully like, who's gonna carry the boats? 3 a.m.
yeah.
Like, yeah, of
Well, that's the
course.
thing. When people ask me about stuff like that, about diets and everything, I always tell them, don't make it into a chore, and
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
easier
yeah.
to stick to it.
I've noticed like, all right, for me, I mean, you've seen me. I've been able to lose like a lot of weight. Like, I've never really had a problem with that, and I never adhere to a specific diet. It's just like a mental like note. All right, I'm gonna eat healthier, probably eat a bit less.
Yeah,
Just depending on how much I'm eating at the time, and then work out more. And
yeah.
things are a lot simpler than they're proposed to be. Oftentimes, like dieting, losing weight,
Oh
it's
man, it is the biggest no brainer on the
you should
planet
just eat
Earth.
less, work out more,
But
or
when people ask that question, it's just because they want to make it seem more complicated than it is.
yeah, they kinda want, like, an out or something like that if
Yeah,
they can't stick to it. "Oh, this diet is like this, and I got tired of this," but it's people look for excuses, but that's
yeah,
natural.
yeah.
A lot of people don't wanna confront, like, their own, like, inner behaviors, like, the inner workings of how they are, so they try to they attribute their failures to other things, like, "Oh, this diet was too complicated or it's too hard on my body," when really
Yeah.
it's just they're lacking discipline.
Yeah, like you hear people like, "Oh, who has time to go to the gym 5 times a week?"
Yeah,
And it's like, "Well, don't go to the gym 5 times
it's
a
a cop
week.
out.
Yeah, just work out at home then."
Yeah.
It's like, "But I'm tired." It's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
that's the
Then you must not
point."
want it that bad,
Yeah,
dude. You must
yeah.
not want it that bad.
Uh,
A lot of people they want the easy path to things that are not easy to achieve. You ever notice that? Like they it's like cheap. It's like a cheaper
well,
route. Like
I think most people are like that. I think you have to kind of force yourself into that hard path.
yeah, yeah, or you get used to it. Like um yeah, you just have to kind of be used to it, I'd
You
say.
know, people ask me about like competing in jiu-jitsu, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, how do you go out there and do it? Aren't you scared or anything?" And I was like, I'm more scared, like, before the competition, I'm, like, nervous about it. When I'm there
Yeah.
and I step on a mat,
It goes
I
away.
yeah, you just do it because you're there, but I was like, the best thing you could do is just sign up for it.
Yeah.
Because once you sign up for it and you go and you do it, it's like you've got no choice.
Yeah, you're locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in there. It's like if I was walking down the street and someone attacked me, I can't be like, "I don't feel like fighting right now."
Yeah,
You have to
yeah. I
defend
mean, you have
yourself,
to.
right?
You're
Yeah,
you're
you
in
have
the
no choice.
situation.
So in that situation, they call my name, I step on the mat, people are watching me, I'm not gonna run off the mat. I
Of
have no
course.
choice. I'm locked in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes that's what I say, you gotta put yourself in the fire.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does make sense. That for you guys, that's actually a very solid piece of advice. You got to kind of like, you got to put the first step at least towards doing something instead of just like always telling yourself, "Oh, I'll do it after this or after this." You got to just decide like now's the time to actually
People
do
make
something.
things really complicated and then they act like there's all these there's all
Hoops to
these
jump through,
yeah, exactly. All these hoops to jump through, all these pitfalls and it's
but they're
like,
not even taking the first step.
yeah. I met somebody one time, this older lady that she was talking about buying a car.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Oh no, I don't go to." She was spending money on like Uber rides and stuff like that.
Dude,
And I
that will
was
drain your wallet
yeah,
fast,
a lot of money she was
fast.
spending, and she was like, "Well, I don't buy cars from dealerships. I have to wait for an auction." I'm like, "Well, when's the next auction?" She's like, "Oh, 4 or 5 months from now." I'm like, "So you're spending how much? Like $600 a month on Uber? Just get a car, lady." Like, yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't want to waste my money over there. It's like, but you're wasting your money now.
that's even more of a
It's just
waste of
making
money.
making everything very complicated.
You know, who is this person? Who is this person? Like, is it someone related to you or just like some random person you knew?
Yeah, yeah, someone related. Yeah,
Yeah, that's just that's wild.
yeah.
Because it's 600 a month. Just think about that. Like over how long? How many years that they've been doing this, or maybe like
People do a lot of things like that, man. Just a lot of. It drives me crazy when people they act that they can't do mundane things.
yeah,
Just like the weirdest thing is like, oh no, I don't do this on this certain day, and it's like, well, what about this one time? It's like
yeah,
you can't just do it. When I was in school one time, I was in a group with these people, and we had to do a project, and
yes,
it was an older lady in our group. Older lady, she's probably like 30 something, I was
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
like
I know. It's
20
all
or so.
relative.
Yeah, yeah. But she was like, "Oh, could somebody take my part for now because it's Sunday and I don't work on the Sabbath." I'm like,
Mm,
Okay, lady, I understand. It's cool, your religion, but
yeah,
you got work to do." You got
yeah,
work.
yeah. That's a little.
Yeah, it's like if it's like I would tell people in on a wrestling team when guys would be like, "Well, I'm a 7 day Adventist," or like, I have something to do with like the church. I'm like, listen, if I was gonna say, "Can come out with me and let's go like party or something like that," and you're like, "No, no, I have to go to church." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." Like you're asking me to do something that's not necessary to go to church, but if it's something to better yourself,
Yeah,
I mean, it's different.
like the
Uh,
church is going to be there next week as well. It's not like you're
yeah,
going to hell if you miss.
yeah, and it's just like it was a competition or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stuff like that. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I think you know what it is too. It is just another excuse.
Yeah,
It's another
yeah.
excuse. They're scared of the competition. They're scared of this, and they just put their own roadblocks up.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is. People, John Jones kind of did something similar, not really an excuse, but he puts like a roadblock just in case he fails. And a
Yeah,
lot of people like they subconsciously put roadblocks so that they don't have to do something or so they have an excuse as to why they didn't perform well in whatever that thing is.
yeah.
Um I guess just people are like that. People always want like I was saying, they want to deflect that blame onto something else. Like,
That
"Oh, I
reminds
didn't
me
mess up.
when
It was this."
I was coaching a middle school wrestling team, right? And we're going all the way to like how good the wrestling teams are in like middle of Florida, like
Yeah,
Central Florida area. So we're driving up like these five kids over there, and then four of them was no, like three of them were in the car with the assistant coach, right? And then when we get up there, it was actually in Sarasota area. It was like a 2 hour drive. We get over there and they get out the car and I hear them like saying like, "Oh man, these guys look good." Like watching the wrestlers, like, "Oh, they're giving excuses like, "Oh, coach, I don't think we trained enough for this." I'm like, "Come on, guys, why are you guys so scared? What's
yeah,
going on?" And the wrestling coach and the assistant coach was like, "Coach, you don't understand. These guys were talking so much trash on the way over here, and
yeah,
as soon as they get there and they see like wrestling paraphernalia everywhere,
yeah,
like in
yeah.
statues and all the kids walking in their uniforms.
Mental defeat right
All of a
there.
sudden, they started with the excuses and everything."
Yeah, this is dumb. This is like to a lesser extent, but I try to be aware of the things I do, but there's also like stuff that's kind of funny. Um, Whenever I box, like I have one corner in the ring that I like to come out of, and if I
Uh-huh.
don't come out of there, it's like
It throws
it's
you
it's in the
off.
back of my
Yeah.
mind. I'm just like, ah man, I wish I got to use that corner. But yeah, I feel like people as they get older, you should be trying to like lessen those things, like those intrinsic or like
Yeah.
what's the word like a lot of people have behaviors that are natural for them, but it's
Mhm.
because they picked that up through their parents or like what
Well,
they've
that's the
learned.
thing. They should be getting better as they get older. Most people get worse as they get older.
Yeah, yeah, because people like to be comfortable, they like to be complacent, and that actually it puts them in the opposite way where they don't just stay the same,
Yeah.
but they get worse because those like poor behaviors kind of double over on themselves, so they get more like it's like more concentrated over time. If
Yeah.
you're constantly think about
And
inbreeding,
because
right?
because and then they avoid correcting it. They avoid the issue altogether.
Yeah, like all right, so inbreeding, that's like a comparison. You're like mentally inbreeding right there. If you're doing the same thing over and over, you're
Mentally
never you're
inbreeding. Yeah.
never trying to introduce something new to the
You got an
bloodline.
incestuous brain.
You got an incestuous brain. But
Yeah.
I forgot your blood quantum level.